It's time now for the Kill the Can Podcast.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Kill the Can Podcast. I'm your host, Chewie. Do you want to quit nicotine and take back control of your life? We'll tell you how we've done it, and we'll answer some questions you didn't even know you had about how you can quit today. In episode 14 of the podcast, I started something a little bit different where I started answering some frequently asked questions. And I'm back today. This is going to be episode 15, and I'm going to answer a couple other questions. I think I'm going to go through 3 or 4 here, again, that we get on a pretty regular basis here. So first question is are nicotine pouches as safe as caffeine pouches? I've been hearing a lot of this lately, especially as with the advent of Zyn and Rogue and some of these other nicotine products. I get this question in several forms across several platforms. So serious question, are nicotine pouches like Zyn as safe as caffeine pouches such as grinds? I'm trying to see the difference between smokeless tobacco pouches and nicotine pouches. I quit dipping about 4 years ago, and seeing those tobacco-free nicotine pouches got me thinking. And so the answer is a little bit nuanced here, but there's an argument that can be made that nicotine and caffeine have some positive effects. I would counter that argument by saying that the people at Kill the Can have recognized that we are addicted to nicotine, and we are actively working to escape that addiction. That being said, products like Zyn that contain nicotine, for us, it's a terrible idea. If we were on a quit caffeine site, I would make the same argument against a pouch product like Grinds or one of the other coffee-based products out there that contain caffeine. I would suggest that if you have been away from nicotine and tobacco for 4 years, again, this is in response to the original question, you should stay far, far away from nicotine pouches. Again, we are nicotine addicts, and that's the drug that we have fought so hard to get away from. So, for example, if say Skull Mint was your dip of choice, would you be comfortable switching to Red Man Golden Blend, Marlboro Reds, or Swisher Sweets? I understand those are tobacco, but they contain nicotine, which again is what we're addicted to. From a purely philosophical point of view, I understand the question. Both are a foreign substance, and I could see why I could be seen as a hypocrite for using caffeine but not nicotine. To that, I would say I'm choosing to use one, coffee or caffeine, and stay far, far away from the other, nicotine. It's a distinction that every person needs to make for themselves, and it's a distinction that I've made for over 6,000 days here, and I will continue to do so moving forward. So next question that we get often is, how long will I think about dip after I quit? And this is an interesting one because it is subjective, and everybody's a little bit different. But the question comes pretty regularly. You know, you're well into your quit. Do you still think about dip? You know, why do you continue to post roll? Is the question that we often get. And I can honestly say, no, I don't think about dip anymore. It has literally been years since I've had anything that I would consider a crave. I can be around folks who are dipping for hours on end at this point, and not only does it not affect me, but I really don't even realize they're chewing at this point. I am proud to say that nicotine has no control over me any longer at this point. That being said, I still post roll daily. It is my reminder of where I've come from and how far I have come. And that one singular expression of our commitment to freedom, it works. I am ultimately so proud to put my number on the line every single day. And I'm proud to be quit with every single person in the Kill the Can community. And that one thing, probably more than anything else, has kept me quit. And if it's not broke, I'm not going to fix it. So that's the answer as to why I keep posting roll every single day. And then finally, this is a question that comes up every so often, and it pertains to how hard in the paint we go against people that fail when it comes to their addiction to nicotine. So, basically it's why the rough treatment. And so this was a question that was taken from our forums back in 2015. And I can tell you that the answer to it, which was given by a longtime Kill the Can member, Josh to Brown, who has been throughout the years a moderator and an admin, I can tell you that the answer that he gives was relevant then, and it is just as relevant today. So I'm going to read this one. This one, again, was asked in our forums in 2015. And the person said, "There's something I don't understand about this site. How is everyone all supportive of someone until they fail? Isn't that when they're going to need your support the most? It's naive to think that every single person who posts roll every day will never fail in their effort to give up nicotine. So why, when they fail, are they banished? Or at least ridiculed to the point where they leave? I'm new here, so there may be something I'm just not getting, but it seems like the problem is being dealt with wrong. The point should not be to be perfect in your quit, but to be actively involved in the quit. Each day we refuse to use tobacco, we are making ourselves better, whether or not we screwed up and used the day before. I'm not trying to start shit here. I'm just questioning the whole brotherhood attitude goes when someone slipped up." And again, here's the answer that Josh to Brown provided. He says, "Great question. Here is why Kers get the treatment that they do. Being quit is a choice. Things get bad, sweat it out, sack up, get into chat, get on the phone, and stay quit, whatever it takes. There is no good excuse for caving. People have stayed quit when their children have died. People have stayed quit through divorce, marriage, drunken binges, Super Bowl parties, and every other situation you can imagine. If you fail, it's not because someone else didn't answer the phone or support you. It's because you chose to fail. Tobacco can't drive your car to the convenience store. It can't buy itself, and it can't pack your lip for you. By taking all of the above steps, you have crapped all over the people who have stood by side with you for however long and promised nothing that happens to me today can make me go back to using nicotine. We know this is hard. We know with every fiber of our being with what the rage, craves, sleepless nights, funks, and all the other shitty symptoms feel like. More importantly, we know they will hurt and they will pass. Cancer will not. We know this is life and death, and when someone chooses death, it hurts us a little bit more. When someone with a lot of days behind them slips back to the can, it can cause all sorts of shit with the group. It burns out those who have supported and makes them feel stabbed in the back. However, all of it serves a purpose. That purpose is to get the caver to realize what mistakes they made, identify why they made them, and develop a plan to prevent them from happening again. This is not a site for coddling failure or weak resolve. This is a site for saving lives. Watch, though, what happens once someone does show that they see what went wrong and executes a plan to fix it. They are some badass quitters on this site that have caved, did the necessary self-evaluation, and are now living proof that the methodology works. If you can't handle a little online roughhousing, my gut tells me that quitting nicotine is going to flat out whoop your ass again. There's a place for those who do not want what KTC provides. That way may work for others, but when you sign up here and you join the Kill the Can community, all the bullshit and excuses goes out the window. We are addicts. We speak the same language. And on that note, I will talk to you soon, quitters. I am proud and honored to be quit with you today. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one, quitters.
Join us again next time for another edition of the Kill the Can Podcast.